You really need to wake up. It is very important. Anyway, one of the most important thing I want to share with you guys is I know many people think that, okay, first of all, I've got nothing against izangoma, inyanga, and traditional healers. I've got nothing against all those bloodline. Matter of fact, is within me. You get what I'm saying? All of that is within me. However, the only people that I'm against is the people who are using that power for negative things. For example, zikhona izangoma ke inyanga ezithatha amandla azo ukuthi bahambe boyosebenzisa amandla abanye abantu bathwale ngabo. That I don't like. If you're a traditional person and you do this, you should be really ashamed of yourself, man. How can you do such to your dear brothers and sisters? You are the reason why many people are afraid to even go and consult to those people. And that is not right, man, because there are traditional people that are there who have put their lives in actually helping people for the truth where they can. I'm not a greedy person. I literally advise people to go seek for help there as well. Because I don't want to be a greedy person to say, no, everybody should come to me. No, I don't do that, man. Without fear or favor. I tell people, this is what you're supposed to do. Go find somebody else who can help you in this type of way. And before you even go to seek for that help, communicate with the ancestors. That's one thing people don't do. You don't communicate with the ancestors. You just go to that person. You need to communicate with the ancestors by lighting the certain candles and talk to your ancestors. I always say that the yellow candle and the blue candle is regarded as your parents' bloodline ancestors, right? Yeah. So, what I mean by this is this, that you can light a blue candle which represents your father's side of your ancestors, which is on your right hand side when you put it, and the yellow candle represents your mother's side of your ancestors, which is you put it on your left hand side. Then you can put the white one in the middle that represents you, because out of your mother and your father, it is evidence that you came to be, right? Now, when you put these three candles, you call from your father's side of your ancestors and your mother's side of your ancestors. You ask them for help and assistance. You tell them that I'm about to seek for a person who can help me rightfully with the situation that I'm going through right now. Show me the lead and the guidance. You can do this in a form of like 3 days per week, especially in the middle of the night, because that's where now ancestors are more active. I mean, from 3 a.m. up towards 4 a.m. It's where now you have this, you recall people say that around those times I wake up and I'll have no sleep. It is because your ancestors are waking you up to try and communicate with them. There are messages which they're trying to transcend and send to you so that you can understand what is happening in your current situation. Therefore, you light those candles and start praying and start talking to your ancestors, right? Having that communication, you can use this. Having that communication is a way of them passing the message through you, to the point that after when you do that, the moment you start to fall asleep, that's when now your ancestors will come in the form of a dream and tell you what is it that you need to do, who you should be careful of. Like, you always have this DNA within you that is always guiding you and is able to give you information that you need at the right time. So that is why most of the time people wake up at those times at 3 a.m. for no reason. There'll be like paranormal activities that happen. You feel like something is choking you, you know. Out of those vibrations, they take place in effect, because that's where now the most energies are highly vibrational and active. And that's where now you take advantage in fighting your war spiritually or communicating with your ancestors. So from today, if you want to find somebody else who's going to help you, if you're looking for someone who's going to help you, you need to indulge into those practices and praying with those candles. Ask your ancestors to guide you to a person. It's either that person will come looking for you, or you will bump into them. And you will even feel it in your blood. You know, for example, you feel like there's always this knock that you feel if this person is supposed to help you. And whatever feeling that you're feeling inside, if you're feeling that you're not comfortable to be helped by that person, then don't go there. Your ancestors are trying to guide you that if you go there, you might even lose your soul. You might even lose yourself in the process. Then it means that's a boundary. I shouldn't go there. Now you turn and look for somebody else. It doesn't become in an easy way. It takes time to look to find someone who is directed or who has been called by your ancestors to try and link up with that person so that you can start getting your life back on track. So I don't want to stand there and be a hypocrite and say, no, you know what? Don't go to traditional healing. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to do that. If you want to go to a traditional person, do the proper right steps. And your ancestors will lead you to that person. And that's how you teach yourself how to be properly guided into the way of which you're trying to walk in. That's it. That's it. So, it is very important. This is something which you must always have. All these candles, they have a different meaning. Like I've explained with the blue one and the yellow one. The white one is a candle that gets in all the candles, right? That is the light. The green one, the green candle, usually can use it for luck and success. You can, like, for example, you write your name and your surname in this candle and then you light it, right? Sometimes you can light it with a red candle. The red candle, it produces things. It's like fire. It produces things. It makes things happen. So you can light a green candle, write your name and your surname, and start enchanting money to come to you, an attraction of money to come to you. You see, the pink candle is usually dwells with love, man. You know, an attraction. It's good for attraction as well. You can use it. Like, you really need to study these candles, man. Each and every candle stands for a specific color, and the colors are significant to the rainbow. The rainbow colors are significant to your aura. The aura colors are significant to your chakra, right? There was one person who said to me, Ra, you know, you have a golden aura. What's happening with that? That should tell you that if you see a person who's having a golden yellow aura, that person has been called for real and has been called to lead people into light. That person can never lead people away out of light or enlightenment. So that's one of the evidence and elements which you always see for the people that are always giving you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, I've showed you the candles. Candles play a very significant role. And the flames of the candles. There's one thing people don't know about the flames of the candles. When you light a flame of a candle, you're activating, there are entities that are connected with that flame. If you can look directly to the flames, you can see a lot of things. I know people who are able to see through your life by lighting a candle. I can also do that. By just looking into the flame of the candle, they can see your whole entire life, what's happening. There are people who can do that. You know, there's so many ways to look into somebody's life. Some people, they use water. Some people use the mirror. You know, all of those things are not witchcraft or satanic or anything. That's what we are. That's who we are. We are able to possess an object into turning it as a channel weapon to send messages direct from the higher beings that are inside of that object, so that you can be able to see through. It's like extending the channel of you seeing and perceiving things in a spiritual level. So the flames of the candle, they are entities that are embodied with it. One candle people are afraid to use is the black candle. There's nothing wrong with the black candle. In order for you to understand how energy works is this. Energy is one. It's up to you whether you use it positively or negatively. Of course, if you light a black candle using a negative effort, that's how it's going to happen. But if you can light a black candle, usually you use a black candle to wear off all dark energies and dark spirits. You understand? All the negative spirits and negative energies that are there in your life, you are trying to cut them out. But if you don't know knowledge, if you don't understand knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, then it's going to be very tough for you to understand these things, because you don't want to open your first eye. You don't want to open your first eye. You just want to be blinded all the time, you know? Now, one most important thing I want you guys to know. These two things are very important, man. These two things are very important. These two things are very important. Listen, this is not about a person who's tradition or a traditional person. Everybody's supposed to have these things in their homes. Everyone must have these things, man. If you are people of color, if you are melanin carbon, you must have these things. They are very important, right? Now, this is a traditional beer. You mix it. The easiest way to make a traditional beer. You cook this in a form of a warm water. There's instructions. There are instructions which will guide you how to do this, right? Now, when you do this, this is the food of your ancestors. It's not always that you have to slaughter. No, you can make a braai, for example, right? You can make a braai, call people to come over and just have a celebration. But the alcohol, listen, the traditional beer is very sacred, guys. When you're having this in your home, the moment when the traditional beer is properly cooked, because remember, you have to like seal it in a bucket. Let's say maybe you're doing from a 5 liter. You make like warm water, pour it inside. Maybe some they mix it with what you call this, maize meal, brown maize meal as well, and you seal it with maybe a blanket. It makes it much easier when it's hot. When it's hot, you don't need to seal. Just put it in your corner. Then for days you'll see. You keep on like mixing it and blending it, mixing it and blending it for a couple of like 7 days or less. Then the traditional beer is cooked up. Now, that's when now you pour it inside of this ikamba. Right? You pour it in here inside. You just put it in your corner. The moment you having that smell inside of your household, in the yard, in the house, the ancestors regard that as an offering. They really appreciate that. When you breathe in as you smell it, because there's some people, I know there's so many people, you will be in a room or at your home, for some reason you start feeling the taste or smelling the taste of a traditional beer. That is because your ancestors are trying to tell you, you need to do this offering. They are hungry for it. They need it. They want it. Then you do that for them. They become happy. You'll see your success opening easily. Things are just opening. And that is why white people, they always carry alcohol in their rooms, in their household. Because they know our secret. That the more you have this this traditional, well, with them it's not a traditional beer, but it also derives the same energy, because alcohol brings luck and fortune inside of their house. Alcohol brings luck and fortune inside of the house, even protection. But the most powerful one is the traditional one. When you're having this each and every month or few months, each and every like 2 or 3 months, by just having it, not even consulting with the ancestors, by just having it in your corner, your life starts to change, man. You drink it. You find a place where you can just pour it in the ground and communicate to the ancestors by making an offering. When you do this, I'm telling you, man, nothing wrong will go in your life, man. Everything will just work out well. Because the ancestors that are within you gave those who give them something to be appreciated about. And that's how you thank your ancestors. You can never say thank you to your ancestors. You're not allowed to do that, because when you do that now, you are telling them that everything that you need is sorted. You don't need any help from them. The only way to give thanks to your ancestors is by doing these offerings. That's all. You can go as far as like slaughtering a chicken, but I don't want people to do that, because it depends. If maybe your ancestors have shown you chickens that have to be slaughtered when you do this, then you can do it. If your ancestors have showed you to slaughter a goat or a sheep, then you can do that. If your ancestors have shown you to slaughter a cow, then you can do that. Your ancestors will give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding If you want to seek thoroughly by it, you can do that as well. Make your own research. What are the ancestors trying to tell me? And they'll give you that you need to do 1, 2, 3, or 4. But you can do this randomly by not slaughtering anything. Then it'll bring good fortune in your life and success, protection, and all of those things. Because now your ancestors are becoming even more stronger that you are giving them an offering, and they are happy that you are aware that they are not dead, but they are still alive and living. I just wanted to get this out of the way, so guys, you really need to understand that you have to have these things. This is how things are supposed to be like. Then you wonder around why things are not working well for you, man. It's because you have forgotten about your ancestors, man. You have forgotten about your ancestors. So, ngesiZulu ke thina sikubiza lokuthi itiye, uyenze itiye, wenzela itiye abantu abalele, abaphilayo, abakhona. Ubayenzela ke itiye ke bakwazi ukuthi nawe ke ubongelele, bakunikeze izinhlanhla zakho oyifunayo. Ukwazi ukuthi nawe uphumelele entweni zakho, you know. And I want to advise that if you're going to start to indulge into this, you really need to find out from your family, how do we do traditional offering to the ancestors? It's not everybody who will do a traditional beer to an offering. Some cultures are different, right? Some culture, and I do this. So I'm just sharing one of my secrets why I'll be easily successful, because I indulge into these activities, man. I don't want to hide anything. I don't want to hide anything from you guys. Manifestation, they come forward and all of that, I do them, but this is one of the most important things that I carry, because I am black, I'm African, I'm an incarnation of Ra. However, I'm still keeping these things. I carry them. They are the great connection that brings me to my higher guides that are within my DNA, my bloodline. So you don't want to leave your ancestors hungry. I've always said this, that I even do I go as far as making the practice of let's say maybe there's been a bread here in the house, it's a lot of bread, and there's like ukubona mekuphekiwe ipapa liyasala ngithi bese liseleke salithatha ke ulahle nje ube ngathi ubekela la kuvela khona inyoni la zodla khona yonke into. It is regarded as your ancestors that are coming there to eat what you're giving them. When you give birds to bread, food, or any sorts of food, you can go as an extent as buying the food for birds and give it to the birds that come randomly in the house. Typical example, you do find out that in your household there's like birds in the corners, right? They have like nest. Those are your ancestors, man. They are protecting your household. When you've noticed that you've got so many birds that are within your household on top of the roof, they are there because they are your ancestors. And the moment when you start to put some bread on the yard, they come in a collective. They're eating that bread. That's how you're taking good care of your ancestors. Because remember, your ancestors, they can come in different forms. They can come in a snake in the house. They can come in the form of a bird. They come in the form of a different animal. They can even come in the form of a cat. Well, it's not always the case that the cat is for good, but usually it is there as a connection to your bloodlines. Because cats are extraterrestrial. They are not of this world, like you and I. We are the creators of this world, but we are not meant to be here forever. So you always have that distinct connection between your ancestors, and they'll always be there and try to communicate with you, man. Now, I want to talk about this. Insize bandayo, kunensize bandayo, kunensize emnyama, kunensize ebomvu, right? It comes in different. Let me just bring it closer so you can see it. Into zokukhotha ke lezi insize. So when it is the healer of all sicknesses, right? It strengthens you, it makes you powerful. Your blood and your DNA changes. Some of it is bitter, some is not. It depends. Some of it is bitter, some is not. That's how it looks like. Let me show you. So usually you use this in the morning, afternoon, and before you sleep. Especially if there's something happening in your whole entire body. When you have these things intact, within your bloodline, you become even more stronger all the time. So you really need to have these things. You usually get them at a traditional chemist. That's where you can get these things. When you consume these things, they make you powerful. Your DNA becomes stronger. You won't easily get sick or easily get affected by any sort of disease. That's how that's how you take good care of yourself. And a lot of people think these things are a taboo. No, listen, man. I'm still saying this. If you're gonna use a potion for negative things, then what do you expect? Do you think people are gonna sit and look at you and let things be and let things slide? They'll attack you back. This means that you're starting a war. But if you're gonna use positive things, positive potions for yourself, nothing wrong will happen in your life, man. It's all about that. But now these days we're having people who are possessing negative potions for greedy things and negative impacts in their lives. Now that is a problem. That is a huge problem. So don't let all those crazy ideas bring you in the spot of thinking that I cannot indulge in into these things. Your forefathers used to do these things, man. Some were even doing it in secret, but they never wanted to be open to you about it for a reason, you know. So I just wanted to share these things, that guys, it is very important to take good care of yourself, man. And when it comes to spirituality, there are some negative things that happen that you encounter. The more you become spiritual, it is the more you're gonna be separated from the people. People will never like you anymore because the energies have changed, especially if you are surrounded by the people who don't understand the spiritual force. So most of the time you spend your days alone, just because you really need to regulate your energies and focus them on a powerful events within yourself so that you can come closer to your higher self and reach a specific goal in the spiritual world. Because that's what I always say to people, that you are only here to learn everything as best possible as you can so that you can move and have access to your higher dimensions. That's what this is all about, man. You get visited by such entities, they come and challenge you, that are within you. Because you have to understand that the people which are very much against the people that are antichrist, that are against for people to raise their Christ consciousness, they'll always open portals that are low vibration to come and change your mentality and your mental mind, to challenge you. And the more you overcome the challenges, it is the more you become even more powerful and great at your power, and understand how you're supposed to use your power as a person, as a spiritual person. That goes without saying. So don't let those mindsets change your ability of your worth and your power and your value as a spiritual person. You carry so much value to the point that your melanin skin is being used as a weapon. They've weaponized many weapons through your skin. I know you're probably asking me that how is that possible? Because when somebody dies, the body becomes, the body becomes a chemical reaction change. When this body dies, they're able to do something with it, and then they are able to manipulate objects into making them to weapons. Most of the army of the, of the soldiers, the weapons that are made there are made out of the people, melanin skin. Because your carbon is electricity, man. Your carbon is powerful. Everything that you see that surrounds you that is of nature is carbon. Your skin is the creator of all creation that you see today, including the animals. Animals came out of us. They came from us. That is why when you check in the ancient Egyptians, you find that there are beings which have carved with the lion head, with different creatures and animals. We created those creatures and animals. The reptilians that you see all over the news when they say white people are the reptilians and all, those creatures are taking over their bodies because they want to have control over people by hiding, because they know that people, how they will react. However, those reptilians, they come from us, melanin. All sorts of creation that you see is created, manifested by the melanin beings, which is us, you and I. The very same person that's bleaching their skin, you don't know. You are bleaching because you don't know. You have lack of knowledge how potent this is, man. So those are the things which you really have to understand about yourself, man, about your DNA, how it works, how it operates. If they are weaponizing your skin for their armor, what is it that you can do when you manipulate it in your own will and try and even control objects by your will of your mind? How powerful does that make you if they're able to take your skin and make a weapon out of it? Just ask yourself that. And ask yourself, why have you not been told about this information? Because the education system has been a role in your life to make sure that they ruin everything that you do in your whole entire life. I never liked school personally. Even my parents were always complaining when I was young that I never went to school. I don't remember in a day studying, man. I really never liked school, man. I still hear that again today, don't love it. Because I knew from head-go when I started to go to school that this is all a game. They are playing people's minds. The teachers that are there to just get money. They don't even question the system that they're teaching to the children. And they're helping the whole entire system to make sure that black people don't rise. They're always subject to their masters. And that's why it becomes highly impossible to make means in teaching people who have higher education. You can't teach them anything, those words. You cannot. They are twisted here inside. There's this channel that they activate that's not supposed to be activated from the back of your spine head, closest spine on your head, right? When this portal is activated, they switch. When it switch, there's something that's been implanted inside of you to be narrow-minded. To be narrow-minded. To be a robot. To be narrow-minded. So when this thing is implanted here, you're done. And the only way to do that is through education, nothing else. Education is one of the most things they've mastered to control people. I mean, for example, how many people do we have right now? They've got some degrees and honors and all of that, but they're not doing anything. Some of them, we know them, they're working at ShopRite. I'm not making fun out of them. I'm just trying to prove a point. That all of those years, we wasted our time, including myself. I'm putting in myself as well, because I've been doing school. I went to grade 12. I matriculated, right? We have been wasting all of those times for nothing. They've been teaching us nonsense because they want to keep us narrow-minded. But at grade 6, I knew all of that at a young age. Imagine, I knew all of that. And some of you are still at school now, you don't even know about it because you're narrow-minded. Now, going back to the Matrix, the first Matrix, if you still remember, the first Matrix in Neo, when they were taking him out of the Matrix, they had to pull out that thing from the back of his head. That's when now he started to see things for what they truly are. And that's something that is happening to you. Unless you take this thing out, you will never understand a thing in a word. In fact, you are built and trained to protect the system by all means necessary. And the sad thing about this is that the people that you are protecting, they don't give a damn about you, man. Those are the 13 bloodline reptilians, royal blood. Whatever that you do, no matter how much you kiss their ass, man, you'll never be part of that bloodline. They don't give a damn. As we're speaking right now, they're getting prepared to hide down the bunkers because they know what's going to happen in this world. They're getting prepared to hide under the bunkers. And you who's protecting them every day, you're not even going to get a chance. Because the people who are able to even access those bunkers are multi-billionaires, man. They are multi-billionaires. I bet out of all of them, it's only like 10% of black people. The rest is just white people. And the 13 bloodlines of the royal reptilians. But you, in the other hand, you are protecting the system. When you find people that are enlightening, you're telling them nonsense, you're insulting them. And you know what they are doing? They're going to make you and I turn up against each other. And when we do that, they are getting away with it, going to the bunkers. And the moment you realize that you've been fighting the wrong people, for you it's too late, man. Even your Bible tells you that at the end days, end times, it'll be even harder for people to get into the haven. Even the hole of a needle won't fit you in. And where is the haven? Mind state. When you're free and take out this thing that keeps you narrow-minded to be like a robot, it'll be highly impossible for you to go into the higher dimensions. Because the moment you realize that, it will take a lot of time for you to go back and start studying yourself and doing those meditations, doing those yogas, eating a proper diet and all of that, trying to be one with your higher self. It'll be too late. How do you think that you're going to be able to catch up on that gap, which you left off then when you had a chance to do it? The moment when you found somebody like me or anybody else that's teaching enlightenment to start indulging those activities. And don't get me wrong, I really understand that you're still in that position. And I'm not forcing you to take it off. But however, I'm just giving you insight that there's still a chance for you to wake up and be your true potential of your higher being in yourself through your ancestors. That's what I'm saying. I mean, everybody has triggered themselves on which year and time they'll wake up. That's why we cannot force anybody else to wake up. But time is not on our side, man. Time is not on your side as well. So it is what it is. So I just wanted you guys to understand how important for you to be spiritual, because that's who you are. That's what you are, man. That's what you possess. Don't let the system or the enemy or the master, the masters that are in control of this world, or which they think they're still in control of this world, turn you in a different side. You're supposed to be your whole true aspect of reality that's within. You have to take charge of everything that you have to do and think about in your mind, activity. Your manifestation is the only currency. That's how you project things to come into your life. When you manifest things into reality, they take place and take effect, especially when you have your locked hair up. It makes it even more powerful and greater than anything else that an average person is trying to manifest things into reality. You manifest them quicker because of your hair, your antenna, your electricity, your fire, your energy of the sun. That's who you are. Already they are trying to block the sun with their chemtrails. They've been doing that since these people landed here on this earth. There's a reason why they make the fake sun. Antiphoton. The antiphoton reflected a negative way to us, to black people, because we are the photon. We are the photon energy. Now, when they put the sun that is antiphoton, what do you think is going to do to you? And ask yourself why they're even doing that. Look it up. Search what is photon energy. That's carbon. That's who you are. That's what you and I are. And the sun which they've created is not really the sun. It's just the energy of the antiphoton energy. To make sure that it reflects in a negative way to us, because they don't want people to wake their higher conscious, because they feel threatened. They feel threatened by you just walking around. What do you think is going to make them feel like when the sun is heating up and trying to activate their DNA? To be the complete high conscious Christ beings that are meant to be. But whatever that they do, they'll never be able to be successful, because we are going to make sure that everything on this earth goes back to its original stature in that way. So that is why they're still enforcing their fake ill mentality, and some are hiding under the bunkers as we speak right now. That's why a lot of the times you're hearing, feeling some vibration happening under the world. There's two things that are happening. Galactic war is active. Galactic war is taking over in the sky. The galactic war is taking over under the world. So every time you feel the shaking and the vibration in the world, the earthquake, like the galactic war are fighting amongst each other. And some reptilians are getting prepared to hide under the bunkers. Because the moment when the sun heats up, even in a higher state, where they are hiding their skin, where they are hiding into the human beings, which are white people, the skin will like perish and they will be exposed. And everybody will get to see and witness that these people that are in power are actually reptilians. So I just wanted you to understand this, you know. Power is your mind. You control your mind, you have all the control that you need in your life. Love and light. Continue spreading word of enlightenment to so many people out there. Let them know how important it is for them to be in control of their minds. To spread the love and light everywhere they go. That's the only way to increase your vibration and people's vibrations. And never forget it, that each time you do your meditations, you are indulging in so many energies of the people that are supposed to wake up in your area. You are the chosen one. Let's not waste time and do what we are here for. Love and light.